I mean, I love that we're talking about chronic cardio. I used to believe when I weighed that 300 pounds, just even in my late teens, early 20s, I've got a Cannondale road bike, specialized mountain bike. I would put in 20 miles a day and I would do lots of cardio in Albuquerque, and it just doesn't work. And I don't think I did myself any favors with that. And now with Smarter, Not Harder, like, okay, using AI technologies and all that, you can get 6 times better cardiovascular response from 5 minutes, 3 times a week of cardio using the algorithms I'm talking about in the book, compared to an hour a day, 5 days a week. So you probably spend 5 minutes a day brushing your teeth, 5 minutes or 15 minutes a week brushing your teeth. So you can get 6 times more cardio in the amount of time you spend brushing your teeth than you can from doing an hour a day. And there's university studies backing this up. And like, that's one of the dozens of different things I'm talking about in the book. It's like, look, I'm too busy to spend an hour a day doing cardio, right? And it doesn't work. But we have this algorithm in our minds that says, oh, if we work really hard, we'll get results. And the reality, do you have some friends who work really hard and they don't get results, Paul?
I know some people like that.
There's no correlation between working hard and getting results. There are people who do barely any work and they just magically get great results. There are some people who work really hard and never see any results. So maybe doing what works is better than working hard. Just saying.
Yeah. And I mean, that you kind of captured that in the title of your book, like, work smarter, not harder, be intentional about what you're doing. I mean, I'm a victim of this, or I should say I was wrong in my estimation of this in the past. And I ran tons and tons of miles in the past. And now I sprint, as I'm paddling out of the ocean, I sprint back to my car. And that's, I'll sprint paddle in the ocean when I'm trying not to get killed by a wave or trying to catch a wave. And I'll sprint back to the car, but that's all the cardio I do. And, that's what, and I feel much better doing that. I remember my days of, I was a cyclist, so I overtrained on the bike. I'm very thankful that my perineal artery still works after sitting on the bike seat for that much time.
I know, right?
Right? Yeah.
It's a useful artery.
It's a big, important artery, especially for men, but for women too. And I overtrained. I remember being so overtrained as a cyclist, so overtrained as a runner that I would just, when I wasn't running, all I would want to do was lay on the couch and watch movies and do like nothing productive with my life could happen. I had a girlfriend when I lived in Boulder, Colorado, and I wouldn't even go for walks with her because I didn't want to be on my feet because I was so overtrained from riding my bike 3 to 4 hours a day. And it was just all I could do when I would do distance running. When I used to be an ultra runner, I would go out on 20-mile runs on Sunday mornings and run for 3 or 4 hours and in the mountains. And I'd come back and I would eat oatmeal and watch stupid movies. This is my life. What was I doing? And look, if you guys are listening to this and you really want to be an ultra runner, great. Just understand that it's maybe not so good for your life and your hormones and other productivity in your life. There are better ways to get cardiovascular fitness if that's what you desire.
That's the thing. And I have some friends who are like, yeah, but if I don't, do my chronic cardio for an hour a day, I just get really stressed and anxious. I'm like, okay. There's a word for that. It's called addiction. And it's driven by opiates, and it's driven by the fact you're probably burning off excess adrenaline or excess cortisol because you're stressed. And you can be stressed because you have a nutrient deficiency problem. And you can be stressed because you're overtraining, or you can be stressed because you have a mean boss, actually, versus you just think your boss is mean because you're stressed in general from your body. And if you need to do chronic cardio every day to feel sane, you have an emotional problem. If you just love it, okay. I know addicts, and this may trigger some people, especially former addicts, but I'm just going to say it. They're like, but I like my drugs and I don't want to give them up. Okay. That is a choice, and it is okay to make your choice. And you might not be making it from a place of clear thinking and clear-headedness because you're on drugs, but it is your right to make that choice. And people who've been through a recovery process also know that until you hit rock bottom as an addict, it's oftentimes hard to see the need to go into recovery. So I'm just going to say it. If you are beating your body senseless over time, you're experiencing the stress fractures, you're doing all these things, and you're doing it because you think it's moral, you think it's good, or because you get a high from the endorphins from it, It's not a longevity strategy at all. It's not good for you. And I will go so far as to say you could call it a form of self-harm. And I have done it. I did it because I believed it would work, and it did not work. And as an anti-aging expert, I don't recommend it. You need to move for 20 minutes a day. You need to do stuff you love. But if what you love is, grinding out, 20-mile runs 3 times a week, it's not going to end well for you.